in this larger. Guess if I had a green screen, but that'd be easier, right? And I gotta stip this right in here. I don't know if this is the good one. 23andMe. I don't know. I'll get back to it. But this one that got chopped off. But you can see right here. I guess I have to shrink it. There we go. Might as well just open it all the way out. So the results all for family tree DNA is not all completed, but this one's more for like, I think, do you like coffee, that kind of thing, that those kind of medical traits. I think this is for medical traits actually. Like what kind of like history of cancer and stuff like that. Maybe even like Paget's, whatever the bone condition I do have. So it's not really to trace your heritage, like your ethnicity, like per se, but more towards medical. Um, I think, or it circles more definitely the medical one, but this is more like traits. So, ancestry DNA, that's your ethnicity um, kit, which is like a mid-tier one. I guess they're all kind of mid-tier. That's like nothing hardcore or whatever. But so, but like just going through this one, this is what the origins that I put up. I don't want to click on that. That'd be personal information. I don't want to dox 4,000 people, whatever. So whatever. So, but I'm really interested in when uh, that part of it, the results are completed or whatever. So, but that being said, kind of interested some of this. Not this. Saw this already. Well, I guess going back to that, it's like Central Europe, Iberian. This one, usually most of them say like Iberian, which is Spain and Portugal, like 40, 60% or whatever it is, that range. Spain and Portuguese. I mean, it's Portuguese or whatever is always like some number in Spain. But I think it's kind of obvious. Like, you take the general thing of Northern European and Southern uh, coming in from what does the, what do you call it, the Muslim invasion was. We had those two intermixes or whatever, right? So, and it doesn't really know how to separate it. And so it just sort of takes as the bulk. And same thing happened in Sicily, I'm talking about. So you got coming up Sicily and then down. That's why a lot of southern Sicily, southern Italy is like mixed, darker than northern Italy. Uh, so it's just like it doesn't really know how to quantify Spain, like all of Spain, and so would probably like have to take a little thing, but like okay, that's over here, okay, that's that or whatever. But what happened with in Spain is that when the Muslims came up, they were pushed up to northern Spain, and as they were pushing back down, every time a Christian fell, successive, it wasn't one complete thing, like over like all these people fighting, Muslims fighting the Christian side, Christians fighting the Muslim side. It was power and all this other shit, but we just call it a reconquista. It's more like just this slow process of them, talking about retaking the Iberian Peninsula and intermixed with a few people that just sort of purged the whole island of Muslims and Jews and everything. So, but the thing is, like, whenever like a Christian fell, don't you know there was Knights Templar and the Order of Germanic Knights, was the one, not the Hospitallers, they were there, but Knights Templar was also there, but there's a German order, not the Livonians, but the I don't know, but they were there, right? So, but the thing is, like, whenever one of them fell, they held out in mountains. Like, say if you're like a knight or whatever, uh, you would naturally be replenished by someone from England, somewhere on the coast of like Germany, like Flanders, up to Denmark, like Germany itself, and seafaring like Sweden or whatever, because it was just landing in northern ports of Spain. And so, I mean, if you had someone die, you need the position open, and there's a depopulated area, right? Because they need somebody, and they need that shopkeeper, they need that farmer, or whatever else, because they just got killed. And just quite readily, it's like, oh, okay, we have an open spot, right here, and this gets filled. So every time someone drops, there's a replenished. So it's like everybody keeps thinking like it's got pushed up or whatever. I mean, it did, and it's like, how come it just didn't? This population just didn't go down to nothing. Well, it got replenished, and it was Germany that replenished it. It was Flanders and all those seafaring um, places along the coast of of Europe, Northern Europe, whatever. And so they came, and then all of a sudden, they started to reconquer slowly, this slow process. And it wasn't like, kill Muslims, a couple of people like that. Definitely that what we would like to read about or whatever. And definitely a lot of Muslims like, kill Christians or whatever. But mostly like, who's this guy? Who's this fool creating all this trouble? Muslim or Catholic? I mean, Christian or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? It's just like this chill. You know what I'm talking about? This that kind of thing. That's why it took so long, because it's that interplay, and it was this long holding of civilization in Cordoba that the Muslims held or whatever, right? But at the tail end of it, you got a lot of you know people who were able to slowly constrict the Muslim uh, hold on it, because it was very far from Iraq and Egypt, the power base of where they were at and everything. And people in Spain were like, fuck that, man. We want to have nothing to do with those guys over there. We're chilling in Spain. We're dealing with these guys and that guys. We're having a good old time over here. We won't deal with nobody. You know what I'm talking about? That's basically how it was, whatever, right? And so they're all on their own. Just like we have our own culture out here, sort of, this Muslim esque type thing or whatever, and but they're slowly have these little principalities and are being beaten out, right? And this is like really general. And so you got these really good generals and kings, Christian kings, Castile, Leon, and those type of Aragon is, it was all those guys at the end, right? Well, actually, those are really tail end. But all these kind of guys, then you have El Cid, all these, whatever. You had these kings and queens slowly making, conquering downward these power plays and everything. And they respected, the Muslims there, right? And they fought them, but like, man, there's people, you know, are worthy adversaries. And then the generation after them was like, okay, well, since everything's calm, we got to look hard. The kings that beat them, they already looked hard. It's like, if we gotta fight you, we're gonna fight you. If we don't gotta fight, we're not gonna fight you. You know what I'm talking about? We know when to fight. We know when not to fight. I'm Catholic. I don't want to prove nothing. I'm hard. I don't want to prove nothing or whatever. But like usually in the low periods of the tail end of the Reconquista, people wanted to make a big thing. We almost beat them. Let's start purging them. And so they started depopulating the Muslim areas. They depopulated the Jews and everything, and pushed them to Morocco and everything else. And then that happened like over the course of like the last 100, 200 years, like from 1200 into like 1492. And then they even made, direct pushes into Morocco. We still have city states down there. But that being said, it's just like everybody who was like Muslim or Jewish was just gone, you know what I mean? So it's just completely gone. But them still being there for 700, 800 years, that's why you see some of that other blood in there. And I just don't think they know how to quantify it or whatever, talk about. So, but everybody's like, has like a little bit of, a little Malcolm X or whatever. So, like Cordoba in them, I'm talking about. So, it's pretty standard. So that's why you see it. But then, why is Germany there? I was like, I don't think it really makes sense to people. It should be Spain, should be more than 14. Is it 14? Yeah. So, I mean, Iberian Portuguese. So, it just doesn't know how to like deal with it, I guess that's my thinking. It's just, and it wasn't built for heritage, so it is what it is. But I don't know. I think usually it's just like a few single percentages, and then you have over here um, American Indian. That's where my dark skin color actually comes from. So I don't know. But it's just like it's pretty cool because you sort of look at it, what I'm talking about, and right, that's pretty standard for every Latino, really. Um, no, no, but it's kind of funny. It's kind of counterintuitive because you see a lot of Mexicans, they're very light skinned, and they're like, oh, I'm Celtic, I'm Viking or whatever, and they have like no German blood or no Norwegian blood. And other ones you see that are me, whatever, but they can't speak English, so I like to fuck with them. It's like, but you just speak Spanish. How come you don't speak any Northern European language like English? What about that shit? Say you're such a Viking or whatever the fuck, But anyways, it's just, it's all you look at it, It's just really that it really is that it's who you are and you're projecting who you are in your view of the world, what I mean? So I mean, you gotta take the truth and you can always look at it whatever way, just gotta stay away from the periphery and on a tangent or whatever, you know what I mean? So, because I know damn well people could correct me in my view of the Reconquista one way or the other, whatever. But it's pretty general. I mean, I don't really try to get all like on this date. I probably could on a few things, Um, like I really like the Battle of the Five Kings, stuff like that. But that kind of thing. Other different big names during that period. But yeah, same thing with Canada and Mexico and the Caribbean. It's just like it's like sandwiched. Like there's nothing there. It's like a big donut and like a big void in the center. I was like, there's got to be something in the center. You know what I mean? So it's just like, well, I was about to say, like we don't want to acknowledge riding, like Native American DNA, but I don't. It's not that. I think like we're just coming to terms how to like quantify it, and what I mean by that is that there's a large percentage of Americans with Native American blood, and to really state what it is difficult because there's not a lot left. So you got to go inside the reservations, and that's some of the blood there. But how do you get east of the Mississippi blood? There's really not much left there, and I do have that, and technically, but then you're going into like technical aspects. I have one allele. Someone wrote to me is like the Knights Templar and everything like that, but my last name Minatogo that comes from my Italian dad. And he could laid hands of Knights Templar on him, and then he laid the hands on me. That goes back to Knights Templars, what I'm talking about? So it's just like technically, yeah, what I'm talking about, but I mean, but it's who's going to survive the Middle Ages are going to be warriors anyways on both sides, like those are the toughest people that lived through everything. So of course they're gonna have the most kids. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's all how you look at the world. You know, I'm talking about. So I mean, it's just how it is. They're gonna be the most successful in business, blah blah blah. You know, and so on and so forth. So I mean, it's really your perception of everything. You know what I mean? So, but I don't know. It's just like yeah, you know, it's like no getting back to Native Americans. It's like technically, yeah, I have Tales of Tree Blood, but then you're getting into like really nuances or anything, you know what I want. So it's just like you know, like how far on this rabbit hole do you want to go? You know what I mean? It's just like so. It's just you know, I think like if everybody in America did a DNA test, they'll have some amount of Native American DNA. So that's my. You already know that. I think it's just. And then at what point of what threshold are you Native American? A quarter, an eighth, like a lot of reservations, half. You know what I mean? So it's just all depends, and it's just like it depends that after a while, it doesn't matter what you are. If you're like half, then you're Native American no matter what. You know, whatever your politics, whatever your ethnicity, culture you put out, you're just Native American. So that's basically where I'm at, you know? So, I mean, if I look at my sister, um, we had a little debate, or not really debate or whatever, but I don't know if it's like, is she my full sister or half sister? I don't know. And if she's 75% and I'm half, and it's just like it just goes back and forth because you receive a quarter of your DNA and it's sort of mixed up all the way through. So you could be your sister could be have a quarter of your DNA or half your DNA, and your other could be half. I mean, quarter of your DNA could be half. You know what I mean? So like I could get all the European blood, and she could get all the Native American blood. She could look whiter. I could look darker. It's just like all mixed up. You know what I mean? So it's just like you just don't know, you know what I'm talking about? So, I mean, it's all how you look at things, you know, it's not this definitive thing. I mean, it is definitive. You have to say it's definitive because it's DNA, but it's not this, I don't know, it's like these ranges of stuff, you know what I mean? So, but when you start going way off on a tangent of one gene of this or whatever, you know, it's just like, you know, it's like, I don't know about that. You know, so I really like taking a lot of these tests and you'd be like, okay, then you know, like whatever, you know what I mean? But I don't know. That's just my thinking, you know what I mean? Unless it's just like, well, gene one makes you like, um, oh, whatever it is, you know what I'm talking about? Then people be like, oh, okay, well, we know that one gene does that, you know what I mean? So it's, but like whatever. Um, but it's just, I don't know, that's my thinking. But I don't know if I really want to go into like some of the things I was going to wait, but I'm really interested in some of this. My origins, chromosome browser. Ancient origins. We'll look ancient origin. I haven't looked at this. So, oh my god, I'm a middle-aged invader, farmer, hunter-gatherer, non-European, 45. Sort of kind of do that. What the fuck is out here? I'm a Musk. No, I don't know what the fuck that is. Hunter-gatherer. Okay, I see. So what's this? Okay, coming in from there, from Georgia. Okay. Well, you know, everybody starts off in here in Ethiopia, and then everybody has to go through Egypt, and everybody pretty much along these mountain ranges in Iran, Indo-European, and then, you know, then from there, people migrated out. I mean, everybody. So it's just like, how accurate are these things? You know what I mean? It's just like, we all come from Africa, and then we all got basically stopped over Egypt because of the Nile, and then we stopped over in Iraq or whatever, Mesopotamia because of the Euphrates, and the safest place was Iran, fertile, whatever, I'm talking about because that's Indo-European, and we all went out from there into Europe, I'm talking about, and migrated out Indo-European. That's what that means, It's just like if we're all gonna see the same thing. So I mean, it's just like, what are they showing us? So it's not like sort of, I wouldn't say clickbait, but content. You know what I mean? It's like it's basically all gonna be the same. So I don't know. Not really hunter gatherer farmer, all that. I don't know about all that. It's just I guess you read it. It's not really. But I think one of them is in. I'm gonna click on this, see what happens. mtDNA mutations. Wait on the other one. Walk tree. What is this? That's really taking a long time to load, I'll tell you that much. Alright, I'll see. I'll look at that. Okay. Switch between viewing your results by superpopulation and continent. Okay. So, okay. Weston. Is this the same thing? Okay. I guess it gets really, I don't even know if, like, they have like little light up things, but you don't know if that's accurate. You don't know what this is. You don't know what that is. I don't know. Is this kind of, I don't know. You got to be like a DNA expert, but I just remember keep reading that message, and I was like, you get a piece of information, then you extrapolate this, and then that's really being like the string theory, the one, and then you build this, and then you build that, and it's just another house of cards that it's not built on, rational information of analyzing data. It's just using information and formulating your own what you want to believe. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to do that. You know what I mean? It's just like that's what I'm looking at all this. Well, it's not like I don't want to do. I don't want to do that. That's what I mean. It's like no, but it's science. No, it's not. I want to be able to say, oh, it's science, and it is science. You know what I mean? It's like, and someone else will be, oh, it's science, and then 100 years from now, someone will be like science. And I'm talking about that kind of something that stands the test of time, not like someone who has some kind of political view or whatever. It's just, and I hear that. That's why you hear that now. That as soon as like people say, "Oh, it's based on science," like the other side's saying that too. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. So this could probably, I guess it probably means something, but you know, this has come in, clicked on it, and there's a map or something. It's gonna take forever. Oh, well, I'm glad this one right here says I'm 100% of something. So, I don't know. This is the first time like actual Asia came up, you know? And like I said, this is probably like really doesn't know how to quantify Native American, you know? So instead of saying here from America, you know, it just says fuck it all over here, you know? It's just, and then that's the case, then if it's Russia and over here it's like fuck it, you know, we'll just say it's Spain or whatever, you know? I'm talking about the same thing down here. So it's just like fuck it, it's just all Spain. And like I don't think I have a lot of relatives down over in here de fuego, you know. It's just I don't know, you know what I mean? So and I guess Iceland, you know, like a Viking landed over here and then came over here, then went all the way over here. I mean, I guess. I mean, I do have Swedish blood, but again, like I guess, you know what I mean? So I just yeah, I got like ancestry DNA. It's more accurate. So this is just you could get the good I guess the general feel, but like the health origin, this kind of thing. That's what I'm waiting for them to come in, and then I'll really take a look at it because I don't really care about all this stuff. I doubt I'll ever really look at any of this. Um, but it might come in handy years later, and I'm like, oh, I got that. You know, I mean, it's not like my DNA is going to change, right? And as more information comes, um, this is what I think. This is how I think it's going to work. As more information comes in, more people take it, and we can analyze DNA better. But oh, okay, he has that, and now we know what that means, and we'd be like, all right, you know, that's cool, and we know how to look at it. So I already have it in the system, and I could be like, all right, cool, you know, and it's really infancy of how we look all like this because it's so general, but it's definitely very informative. You know, I'm not gonna lie, it's very informative. But you know, it's hard to really take a place so much basis on it. You know, it just you can't too much. You know, but I do want to look at some of the overlap, some of the other cool stuff, whatever. But I'll wait till that, and then I have to be like in the mood for it too. I'll be like, all right, let's check this out. And some of them might come in handy. You know, I want to check because if five of them says, you know, that I need calcium and vitamin D, I'll know about it. You know what I mean? So that kind of thing. But yeah, yeah. So that's what I think. I don't know, one of those general ones. But see what happens when my ancestry comes back, whatever. So maybe a change. I'll take one look at it. It's updated every 6 months and everything. Still basically the same. Yeah. All right. Yeah, up here 47 Spain, and then well, technically Basque right here, and Portuguese, and then Denmark, and then we're getting into the 1% or whatever. So, anyways, take a look when the some of the other stuff comes in. I don't know, medical stuff. It's a lot of information. I don't know.